Change of pace now, as we were talking about before, using homeless people at music festivals to promote Wi-Fi hotspots. Is this exploitative behaviour, or is it giving homeless people a step up? Well, Jill Barwell, our advertising executive guru, joins us now to speak more about this issue. What do you make of what this American branding company is doing? That they're calling it's a charitable event.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a good thing for homeless people to be promoting 4G areas at music festivals, getting paid $2 for it?
Well, I think first of all we have to contextualise what South by Southwest is. And it's an interactive and innovations festival, not a music festival.
Right, OK.
So it's a place where people can showcase technologies, new platforms, so people like Facebook, Twitter, Microsoft, try and showcase what they're doing, what's in the year to come in regards to technological advancements, etc. I think this guy has gone out on a limb and he's tried to find a new way to replace, you know, the typical big issue model and bring that into a technological age, just in a really poorly executed way. You know, to say I'm Clarence and I'm a 4G hotspot is sort of there's the way that that's worded is quite objectifying.
Dehumanising, isn't it?
Well, it is. So it's really poorly worded, but you know he's looking for solutions, and all I hear from other commentators, sort of from the periphery, is people sort of looking for that as a problem rather than going, well, this is how you might be able to make it better.
So how could they have executed it better?
Probably worded it better.
Right.
It's as simple as it is. It's actually quite an interesting concept, and you know, it's an interesting way of, I think you mentioned earlier, of breaking down stereotypes and actually creating conversation between the general public and homeless people.
True. In a sense, though, it's a very old concept. It's the concept of work, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, it's a hard graft as well.
And even if you look past what the festival is all about, what the event is all about, I mean, essentially, is there anything wrong with the concept of offering homeless people work?
Well, no, not at all. And I think that that's something that's come from the homeless people themselves. You know, they've been more than eager to get their own viewpoints across, and I don't think any of them have come out and said that they feel that they've been objectified or taken advantage of.
Well, let's speak to someone who's at the coalface of homelessness. Les Twentyman is a youth outreach worker. Les, what do you make of this initiative, this campaign?
Well, I've got mixed views, actually, because having just come back from the States and saw the appalling homeless issue, particularly in Los Angeles on what's called 6th and 7th Street, where the police or the council can't even go and clean up what's becoming a major health issue. But I also can see that the possibility of exploitation, particularly of touching people and things of that nature. But I think if it was meant to re-engage homeless people, they are human beings, they do need to survive, and they do need money. And, you know, that part of it I applaud. And as the commentator just said, it's a chance of interreaction, but there's also the potential of exploitation. I mean, we do it here in Australia with sticking homeless people on street corners and rattling cans and things like that, you know, which I find somewhat exploitative as well. But, you know, as I said, I've got mixed views. Homelessness is soaring right around the world. Terrible problem here in Australia with, you know, with the global and issues and all this unemployment where people can't afford to pay rents. And we've got not just homeless individuals, but homeless families. So to get that out into the community, I find great. As I said, there's parts of it it's good, there's parts of it I do have concerns about.
Yeah, all right. So your concerns are that there could be exploitation here, but I still don't understand where the exploitation sits in here. I mean, if they have the right or not to take part in this, surely it can only be a good thing.
Well, it's just in the touching of the body that I understand. I mean, you know, that could have sexual connotations. You know, of course, we have various cultures where you just can't do that sort of stuff, you know, and we have laws. But I do agree that to engage and to communicate with homeless people, they do exist. It's not like that song, I think came out Another Day in Paradise, where, you know, that Phil Collins story where people just ignored people who are homeless and battling. You know, so if it's engaging homeless people, fine. I just think, you know, well, it's we're talking about it, so that for a start is a good thing.
Yeah, brilliant, Les. Thank you very much. Les Twentyman there, youth outreach worker.
There was an interesting question you brought up about this yesterday, Kath, whether there was any health implications from carrying around. There's not. Based on the World Health Organisation, the radio frequency that's used in these wireless systems is so low, there's no scientific evidence to say it would actually be bad for their health.
Right.
But then again,
but has it been around for long enough?
Do you want to take the risk? That's the thing. The evidence at the moment's not saying that.
Oh, $2 a pop. here's the thing. I'm not quite sure what Les meant when he suggested that these homeless people on the corner of the streets that hold out cups...
Rattling.
I mean, in what sense are they being exploited? They're choosing to do that themselves.
Well, I suppose they're in a situation where potentially they're more vulnerable than somebody else who, say, has a job, a part-time job, and when you approach them, they're in a different situation. They're less likely to say yes to that opportunity. So from an exploitation point of view, they may be slightly more vulnerable to say yes.
And also,
because they've got nothing else. They're
not
homeless.
everyone's
But they're
happy.
choosing to do that.
But not everyone's happy about being homeless as well. So, you know, there's pride issues, there's morale, there's...
I just don't know, and I don't want to seem too hard on that. Oh, who cares? I just don't know where the pride issues come in with those filthy
someone
people
for
who are
money.
kneeling
What do you mean?
down.
It's really hard.
Everybody has the right to pride.
Yeah, but if you were proud, if you had some pride, you wouldn't kneel down on a street corner,
But that's
bend
potentially the
down
only
like that,
situation
holding a cup.
But they
I think
can't
the
do
thing
anything
is-
about that.
I find that hard to believe.
So
I
you
find that
believe
very hard to
people
believe.
people choose to be homeless?
I don't know that they choose to be homeless, but they choose to go down on a street corner like that and bend down with a cup.
That's the
might be their
evolution of
only
They
option.
choose
homelessness.
that. They choose that.
So what else are they meant
and
to
they
do?
get in my way.
Well, give
There's
us
a
your
whole,
feedback
there's a whole
today.
range of things they could do. I'm sure there are shelters they could do. But I would be interested in your view. Am I man alone here? 1300 66 10 10. They get in my way.